Do we have another audience question
Sure.
for us? There it is. Let's get to that audience camera here. There we go. Awesome. We have another audience member. Hi, audience member. What's your name?
Going. Name's Andrew.
Andrew. Where are you from, Andrew?
Originally from California. Lived here in Austin since I was about 4.
Heck yeah. We got all the Austin people today. I will say this, folks. We've had a lot of people over the years who will like come from out of the country and like will plan just to come to the studio.
They've planned entire vacations from other countries. Vacations in the United States.
I'm excited to see it again. Obviously, this was a soft opening today,
Yeah.
and a lot of people are just now realizing we're back in. I'm excited to see more people come from like, I don't know, Afghanistan or something. Like I want to see people from all around the world. But hey, Austin's pretty good too. So what's your question for us today?
I just had a quick question about when apologists in particular ask about what would an atheistic society look like or whatever. It's as if they've never heard of any of the Scandinavian countries that are almost entirely non-religious. So I just never really understood why is it that they find that so confounding that there could be a society that doesn't have the underpinnings of a religion, but still they're like the happiest countries in the world. Right.
And I think there are two parts to that. One is they don't know about the Scandinavian countries, and they don't know all the good things that are happening there. But two, they look at China and Russia, which are officially atheist countries. Russia probably less now, but China is definitely an atheist country. Or they'll lump in Hitler, of course, and Hitler was a Christian. Let's just leave it at that. He was. And so they look at those and they go, well, that's what happens in an atheist. And no, that's not what happens in an atheist country. Even from a certain point of view, what's happening in the Scandinavian countries isn't because of their atheism, right?
No.
It's because of their outlook on life, because their governments are focused on making on very different priorities than the United States government and state governments are here in the States for the most part.
Yep.
And so that's why they're happier. But are they also atheist? Yeah. Do some of those countries still have an official religion and things like that? Sure, some of them do. Mm-hmm. But for somebody to come up and say, hey, I'm religious, they're going to look at you like you just, we're walking around without pants.
Yeah. And it is funny because the idea that there's two arguments that are put out here. One is that you need to be founded on Christian principles. The other one is that you just need a religion, which is that's hilarious. Yeah. Right? There's so many religions. Like, what if we had like the Raelians and just like, we're going to make a Raelian state? You know what I mean? Or like, just like, I don't know, whatever Manson believes. Like, we're going to make that the state religion. Like, that clearly doesn't work, but obviously that's never been done on a large scale. But I imagine if you ask the average Christian, okay, well, you'd be okay with living in an Islamic, Islamically run theocracy. Would that be okay with you? And I imagine most of them would say no. But they want to try to pin the successes of the world on some sort of Western Christian tradition and say, look, they had this religious belief and that's why they were able to do the things they do. And they don't look at, socioeconomic power differences and world resources and political alliances and, all the things that actually complicate why states have the powers that they do and also the way that they treat their citizens. So as Jim pointed out, it's not like the Scandinavian countries are great because they're atheist. It's just because they have policies that are, considered humane and more universal. And you don't have to be an atheist state to even do that necessarily, but I guess it helps. I don't know.
Is it a misunderstanding of whether or not atheism would be like an overarching or a fundamental push for the society?
Yeah, I mean there is an idea that atheism is some sort of underlying philosophy, right? That it has some sort of organizing principles by which it governs itself. It doesn't. Atheists is, we've talked about it before, it's like herding cats. Like every atheist has different ideas of what it should mean to do something. There have been states in the past that have had an official atheist, sort of outlook that they've pronounced, and it has given way for totalitarian regimes because the religious institutions in the states don't have as much power, right, and don't make as many decisions. Russia is an example of that, right? The Eastern Orthodox Church is a major political power, still is, but when you say that your official state is atheist, suddenly, I don't know, it doesn't have as much force. So there's political reasons as to why a state is going to call themselves atheist, but it doesn't have anything to do with their outlook, right? It doesn't have anything to do with their underlying philosophical principles of what kind of policies they make. And that's what they're scared of. They're scared of like communist Russia.
Right.
Like that's my experience with it.
They're also making a category error, right? Atheism opposes theism. Now, under theism, you have two categories again. One is monotheism and polytheism. And, under monotheism, you could put three religions, really, Islam and Christians and Jews are all monotheistic. There are probably others that I don't know about, and that's fine. And so they make that category error, right? We deny all that. And they look at, and until you get to Christianity, that specific level under the hierarchy I just mentioned, I really don't know anything about your outlook around the world. But once I know you're Christian, and if I know you're evangelical Christian in particular, not only can I, with a high degree of accuracy, know what you believe, I can also tell you in this country what your religious party is and what your stance on vaccines is.
Yeah.
So, but you can't do that with an atheist.
Right.
There's not an atheist in the audience out there that I could tell what their vaccine status is. I could guess, but I have absolutely no idea.
Yeah.
I have talked to atheists who believe the moon landings were faked.
Yep.
I have talked to atheists in this building who believed in fairies, who believed in ghosts, who believed in all kinds of weird stuff. So you can't make that category error, and a lot of Christians do.
Yep. It's true. Yeah. Anything else you want to add?
No, man, that's it.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you so much for your question.